What's happening, everybody? Waiting for this thing to boot up. All right, we should be live right now. We should be live. You guys want to hear this mysterious chord? It sounds like this. That little thing? Or check it out. This same chord could also sound like this. This chord is a slash chord. It is fascinating to me. It always confused me. So I actually have a little pen and paper here. I'm going to show you exactly what it is. I got my little notepad here. So this is what we're going to be working with here. And this is the chord. This chord, A over B. Is that showing up backwards to you guys? Anyways, A over B. So what does this mean? Well, let's figure out what this is. We're going to figure out what this chord is, okay? Before we jump into any type of theory, what this chord is, why it sounds so mysterious, how to make sense of it, and then how to make it musical, essentially. So A over B. So we're going to play an A chord. We're going to play an A chord, and then in the root, we're going to play a B chord, okay? So what I mean by that is, let me get my bearings here. We're playing an A chord right here, okay? That's an A triad, right? A, C sharp, E. And then in the root is a B. This chord to me feels like we're kind of in no man's land. Like, I don't know where we're going. Are we resolving? You know, it's like a big question mark for me. It feels uncertain if we were to put an emotion behind it. But it also feels smooth at the same time. It's like, it's not too jarring, right? You know, I could stay on that chord for a while and it would be fairly smooth. It's just like, where are we going next? So this chord really can function differently, and I was always confused by this chord. Like, I know that there's major chords, right? I know that there's minor chords, there's dominant chords, but this chord kind of functions outside of all that, and it's called a slash chord. Some people incorrectly call it a sus chord. It's not a sus chord. But let's take a look at what this chord is and how to make sense of it. Okay, so if we have this chord, the two songs I was playing at the beginning, this is Luther Vandross, Never Too Much, right? The song is in the key of D major. So this sus chord is effectively, it's kind of like a B minor, you know? It just sounds like this. And it's, you know, like, it's just like a B minor, but it's like gives the B minor movement. So if the B minor 7 was happening like this. So that's one way that this chord could work. It's like, it's essentially, you know, if we're in a key, say D, we go to our 6th chord, which is B minor, right? And then we play the 5 chord on top of it. So we're in the key of D, right? Here's another way to word it. D, we go to our 5 chord, which is A, and then we root it on the 6. So that's you know, not to, if that's confusing, guys, don't worry. Keep following along. It'll make sense in a second. So we can go to our 6th chord and give it this little like slash sound. And this song, you know, Luther Vandross said something like this here. You know, B minor. Back, you know, down to G, which is the 4. And then he goes back up to this little slash chord. So he's thinking of it as like, okay, it's in the key of D. Now here is where things get crazy. This same chord could actually be in the key of E major. The same chord could be in the key of E major. Check it out. What about this? You know, lovely day. When I wake up in the morning, love. The sunlight hurts my eyes. You know, you could say this chord. Or, mother, mother, there's too many of you. You know, we got to find a way to keep them loving here today. So this same chord could be either in the key of D or in the key of E. So like, well, how does this work in the key of E then? Well, let me show you. If it was in the key of E, it's functioning, instead of like a B dominant, it's functioning as like a smoother B dominant, right? It's like a smoother, yeah, that's the best way to describe it. It's like, it's a smooth transition, you know? It's a 5 chord, but it's like smooth. It's a smooth 5 chord. Now, what do you do? What do you do when you have a chord, and let's say you just stay on it? What do you do when you're just playing this and you don't know if it's in the key of D or E? What's the right protocol? Well, the right protocol is to figure out what key the song is in. You know, where does the chorus go, or where's the singer singing the melody? And that is really where the money is at. That is how you figure out how to solo. So, say we're playing that first song, Luther Vandross. If we're trying to solo over this, we would just play D major, you know? Right? You could just play D major over that. But now, let's say we're, you know, in the Marvin Gaye world, you know, Mercy, Mercy Me, or What's Going On, like we were just talking about. Well, let's say you have this chord, and you know, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. Same chord, right? You're just going to a different key. This is what's so crazy about this chord. It's like fascinating. You would play then, over this chord, you could play an E major, you know? Right? So if you guys are still confused, stick with me. This chord, if you guys are just tuning in, we're talking about the chord A over B. It's a slash chord. It looks like this. I have it written down. I don't know if this is reversed in your camera, but A over B is like literally, how to make sense of that is like you're playing an A chord, A, C sharp, E, and then you're playing a B in the root. So it's like an A is happening, A, and then it's all over the B. The B is like the low note, right? The root. So what's so fascinating about this chord, it's so mysterious, right? It has like this, it's smooth. You could stay there for a while. Like you could have a song that just stays on that, but also it like wants to go somewhere. You know, there's a lot of R&B songs that use this chord, right? You know, Can't Hide Love by Earth, Wind & Fire. Right? This slash chord. And slash chords scared me for a long, long time. Slash chords were one of those things that like, I was like, if it's doesn't say A or B or like C sharp minor, if it's not a major, minor, or dominant, I don't know what to do. And I'm here to help you guys like facilitate some more confidence in these slash chords and to make sense of how to use them, how to solo over them, and ultimately like just how to feel more comfortable when you see them or they come up in a song, so that you're able to just express yourself without having to pause, you know, and be like, oh, that's a chord I'm not familiar with. So really, really fun subject matter. Here's another little fun thing. Slash chords can also be used in a more like pop guitar setting. So let's say we have a chord like this. This is beyond, you know, the mysterious chord, because that chord that we were just doing, A over B, is so mysterious. But in order to really understand what slash chords are, really get it, I'm going to show it to you in another context, and then we'll bring it on home back. So sometimes singer-songwriters like Marvin Gaye or Ed Sheeran, you know, they'll write a song like this. You know, let's get it on. So they have a D chord, and then this chord is like a D. I'm playing a D, but in the root, it's an F sharp. So let's call it D over F sharp, you know, pretty. And that'd be like a slash chord, but that'd be like a prettier, this is like a less mysterious, more pretty way to do it, right? You could do this all over, right? But this is to help you make sense of what the slash chord is. Let's go back to our A over B chord and just wrap up, because this doesn't have to be a super long, super intense live stream. I just want to get you guys familiar with this crazy mystery chord, A over B. Understand that it has two resolution points, right? It can go to D major or it can go to E major. And really, in order to understand that, you're gonna have to figure out what key it's in and listen to the melody. And then when you're soloing, you're just gonna play the major scale of said, you know, whatever you figure out what key it's in. When you figure out what key it's in, just play the major scale, you know, nothing too crazy. And you know, you can outline, you know, you can outline the chord changes, but essentially, guys, I want to instill some confidence in you and just help facilitate some new chord vocabulary as well. If you've never even played this chord, let me show you how to play it real quick. I realized, you know, I guess I haven't done that. I am using my ring finger on the 7th fret, low E, skipping the string, and then pinky 7th fret, D string, and then middle finger 6th fret, G string, first finger 5th fret. You know, and it has this, you know, there's gap band. You know, there's a lot of songs that use this, guys. So once you become more familiar with this chord, you're gonna feel more confident. So anyways, I'm gonna log off for the day. I hope this finds like some use for some people. If you guys are still watching this video, give this video a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you guys very, very soon. Ciao.